Well, Chocolatiers. Art the Clown is back, and he's better than ever. Let's get right into the review after a word from our sponsors. Check out Dubby Energy. It's filled with clean ingredients to fuel your day, whether that be through gaming, studying, or even workouts. Unlike other energy drinks, Dubby will not give you the jitters or that dreaded crash. It comes in a variety of great tasting flavors, so there's something for everyone. Want to save on your first order? Use code Mr. Chocolate for 10% off from your order. Level up your energy and stay focused with Dubby. Link will be in the description below. And now, on to the video. Art the Clown is back. And like I said before, he's better than ever. Terrifier 3 stars Art the Clown and the titular characters from before. The brother and sister duo. Now, in this film, Sienna and her brother try to rebuild their lives after the events of Terrifier 2. Now, if you don't remember the events of Terrifier 2, just a brief recap. Basically, Art's possessed by some kind of demon thing that he's listened to. It's in the form of this child, and he proceeds to go on this kill quest like he did kind of similar in the first one. But Sienna is kind of like revealed to be kind of like a bridge of sorts, and kind of like his alternate. So like if you know the new lore in Star Wars, what they've been doing is like whenever somebody in the dark side is powerful and rises up, they create like the Force creates somebody in the light side. So it's kind of like that. And so she's kind of like created and brought up and doing all this stuff where she is able to kill him by using the sword. And it's kind of like this holy war, what they've been building to, which is so funny because of what these movies are. But that's the plot. And so this film is, I've been told, it's controversial. Okay, it's insane, out the membrane, and it's just some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen in your life. And I'm here to tell you, maybe, or maybe I'm just, an awful person, because a lot of it didn't really get to me like that. And I really think that what films do, because they always exaggerate and stuff, I really think that the people that they got to have these reactions to this movie, like, I just feel like they got them that have not watched Terrifier 1 or 2. If you've seen both of those and you see this, there's definitely some kills and some things that happen where you might go, oh, crazy. But it's nothing like where you're going to throw up, nothing crazy like that. So if you've seen them all, it seems like. Definitely recommend for sure if you have seen the other ones. Now, in my history with this franchise, I'm not a big fan of the first one. I think it's really good, but I think the acting's kind of crappy. The plot's just kind of okay. I do like the basic element of like these just random girls having this random encounter. But what I really have been liking is this supernatural stuff, and I really like the character of Sienna. I like how the second one has more of a bigger budget and better actors, whatever. And so this movie's kind of like that, because definitely a bigger budget than the first two films. And I feel like you feel that in the opening scene, which is controversial for sure. And the opening scene kind of sets the tone for the movie, not only just visually, but also thematically. What's all happening, so that with the plot. And what I feel that this movie conveys, in a way, is that good can triumph over evil. Now, I know that's not the main point. I'm being honest, there's no main point. It's just fun goofiness. But in my takeaway, that's what I took away from it. I like how we get some background with Sienna. I would say my only negatives are, I really don't love these kind of back and forth. It was kind of weird. So Art this takes place like 5 years later, and Art's kind of like almost retired in a way. He's kind of just like waiting or whatever. But a lot of what they do in the film, because Art doesn't really talk, they don't fully explain. And so, for example, like while he's waiting for 5 years, Sienna's kind of like rebuilding her life. She's doing whatever, and I'm assuming it's kind of like that bridge thing where it's okay, well, she's down right now. He's got to be down right now, right? But it's one of those things where, like her brother, for example, her brother has very little screen time. I believe maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 max. And I feel like it's less than that, honestly. I feel like that's a little gracious saying 10 minutes. And it's kind of always in the movie, and I feel like he's a bigger part in the, second one. I know she's still the main character, but I just feel like it should have been more about them and their bond. And instead they just randomly bring up this new character. I think her name's Gracie or Gray, whatever, something like that. And when they talk about her in the movie, like at the beginning, they're just talking about her like we just know her, because you know at the end of the events of Terrifier 2, you know her mother dies, and so she's living with her aunt, and you know the aunt's husband and daughter and stuff, and the daughter is just like so in love with Sienna and stuff like that, and I was liking that bond, but the whole time I feel like this should have been between the brother and her. You know, he's at college right now, and I get there's some distance between them, but the whole time I was just angry. Like, whenever there wasn't a crazy kill on screen, the plot-wise of, like, part of me and my brain, especially critic brain, was just sitting here going, why are you not showing any scenes with them? What's going on? I know they got some tension. I know they're building up the stuff. But, like, they were so focused on Sienna's relationship with this character that whenever anything crazy happened or anything involving the brother, they just kind of like, that's cool, but we've actually got her. Like, even, like, when she gets out of psychiatric, like, hospital, like, in the opening scene of hers, which this is, no spoilers, this is just, like, her opening scene, you know, first person she asks for is literally not her brother, and I'm just so confused. Like, she's like, at one point I think she even acknowledges she doesn't, like, she didn't respond to any of his letters. And you're gonna get out of the psychiatric hospital and not even ask for me first? She's like asking for this random girl. She's like, yeah, and I never talked about her before, but like, that's my guy. And I'm just so confused. And so that I feel like going forward, they're building a relationship of them two to be like the make it or break it point. And so that I didn't really love, but everything else was just off the chain. Kills look a whole lot better. The gore is a whole lot better. The effects, the VFX, everything just looks a lot better. Everything's escalated. There's more set pieces, and that was my main complaint with, you know, previous Terrifier films, especially the first one, which I know was low budget, but it's like taking place in one area. Second one, it's like only a couple areas. This one takes place in a mall. You've got a bar. You've got, you know, kind of like arts. I want to call it a little clubhouse. You've got all kinds of stuff like that, and I really, really, really loved and appreciated that in this film. I think that the kills are definitely on the next level. There's definitely a lot of comedy elements in this movie, and that's, I feel like, it's subjective, because a lot of the scenes that are kind of like, oh, people were laughing, I was kind of like, that was a little dark, but then some parts, it's like I was laughing and the theater was quiet. So, like, it's really just kind of whatever you think is funny. But the guy who plays Art is off the chain. And I feel like this is a franchise that doesn't need to overstay its welcome, and I'm getting a little nervous for that, because right now, just saying this without spoilers, there's definitely going to be a fourth one. And with that going forward, as much as I'm excited for it, none of the kills in this movie made me go, wow, that was crazy. Nothing like the Allison kill. I kept hearing it was worse. I guess stuff that he does is technically worse. And there's one or two in there that's like, oh, it's like, okay, they go in there. But I just feel like, compared to the second one where they just went really big and bad, even though this one did, and I do think this film is a lot better than the second one, even though I love the second one, I just feel like going forward, they're going to try to keep getting bigger, 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 and bigger. But I feel like as far as a story, they at least need to wrap it up in another one or two before overstays welcome, like I said before. But with its popularity, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I didn't expect it to. This movie is great. It's really good. It's a good slasher grindhouse flick. If you have been anguishing for one of those, a good horror movie per se. I don't necessarily think it's just scary like that, but some designs, for example, like Victoria, she was, is her name Victoria? I think her name's Victoria. The one with like the torn face from like the first one. She's like kind of like the partner in crime with Art in this one, and she looks really scary. I will say that her face and makeup design was really cool. But yeah, I had a great time with this film. I think there was definitely a lot of laugh out loud moments, definitely a lot of cool kills. Pretty much anything that you would want from this movie did, and did it right. And so with that, I'm going to give Terrifier 3 an 8.5 out of 10. And I'm going to give this movie a Mr. Chocolate Silver approval. I think that if you definitely go see this, you'll enjoy your time for sure. I wouldn't recommend seeing this though if you haven't seen the other ones, because you might be one of those people that threw up in a theater or something like that. I don't think it's that jarring, but I've also seen the other two. So maybe it is if you've never seen it. So just a warning for that. And with that, please like and subscribe for more. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this movie, and let me know your thoughts on this review. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
We both know this isn't over.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.